Have you ever thought about what it actually takes to authorize a life-changing real estate deal, validate a critical legal affidavit, or literally protect your entire community from fraud? It's a lot of power, right? Well, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are slicing straight through the state bureaucracy to give you a highly practical, step-by-step guide on becoming a commissioned notary public in Arkansas. Whether you're looking to boost your resume, start up a side hustle, or just provide a seriously vital service to your neighbors, getting your notary commission is an incredibly valuable credential to have in your back pocket. Now look at this number, $7,500. Before you ever stamp a single document, Arkansas requires you to hold a $7,500 surety bond. I know, it sounds like a massive financial roadblock right out of the gate, doesn't it? But here is the crazy part. This mandatory protection only costs about $50 to actually buy. We're going to get into exactly why you need it and how to get it in just a moment. So, here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the actual role of a notary. Second, eligibility and basics. Third, exams and surety bonds. Fourth, tackling the online application. Fifth, the oaths and final commission. And finally, getting your supplies and best practices. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the role of a notary as an unbiased witness. Okay, let's start with your core purpose. Why are you even doing this? Well, as an Arkansas notary, you are literally appointed as a public official. Your primary day-to-day duties include administering oaths, swearing in witnesses, and taking affidavits or acknowledgments of deeds. But at a fundamental level, your ultimate job is to prevent fraud. By physically verifying identities and acting as an absolutely unbiased witness to important transactions, you provide the critical trust that keeps our legal and commercial systems functioning. You're the front line. Moving right along to Section 2, eligibility and basics. Let's find out if you actually qualify. Before you drop any cash on application fees, we need to make absolutely sure you hit every single one of the state's baseline marks. The basics are pretty straightforward. You have to be at least 18, you must be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident, you need to read and write English, have 0 felony convictions, and a perfectly clean notary record for the past decade. Residency is absolutely key here too. You have to be an Arkansas resident, or at least a resident of an adjoining state who actually works in Arkansas. Oh, and if you're a permanent resident alien, you just have one extra step, which is filing a recorded declaration of domicile. Assuming you checked all those boxes, we're on to Section 3, exams and surety bonds. Basically, your prerequisites. So, if you meet the eligibility criteria, your next step is the state exam. Yep, there's a test. The Arkansas Secretary of State requires you to pass a free, multiple-choice exam with a score of 80% or better. My absolute best advice for acing this? Thoroughly study the official Arkansas Notary Public Handbook. You can grab it right off the state's website. Once you pass that exam, stop what you're doing and immediately save your exam certificate as a PDF. You are absolutely going to need that file later. Alongside the exam, you need to get your financial protection in order. Remember that $7,500 surety bond we talked about earlier? You have to purchase that. It is mandatory and it exists entirely to protect the public from any mistakes you might make. However, and this is a big however, you should really consider errors and omissions, or E&O insurance. It's totally optional, but unlike the bond, E&O insurance protects you from personal lawsuits and legal fees if you make an honest mistake. It's a real lifesaver. All right, Section 4, the online application on the BCS portal. Okay, you've got your exam PDF saved and your surety bond purchased. Now you're going to face the Business and Commercial Services online portal. First, create a free account. Once you're logged in, just head over to the Forms page, navigate to the Notary tab, and hit New Notary Public Application to start fresh. The whole system is actually designed to walk you right through the process step by step. Now, listen up, because this is where so many applicants stumble. When you are filling in your residential and personal details, your legal name must match your surety bond exactly. And I mean exactly, down to the specific letter and middle initial. If there is literally any variation between the two, you risk immediate application delays, or even worse, having your notarized documents rejected by county clerks down the road. So double check that. On that same portal, you'll upload those PDFs, your surety bond and your exam certificate. After that, you just pay a straightforward $20 application fee to the Secretary of State using a credit or debit card. Hit submit, and boom, your application is officially off for review. Which brings us to Section 5, oaths and the final commission. Time for a little field trip to the courthouse.
Hitting submit online feels amazing, right? But the most critical physical steps are actually just beginning. Once your online app is approved, you'll get 2 oath of commission certificates right in your portal. You need to print these out and physically take them, along with your original bond, to your local recorder of deeds or circuit clerk. You'll take a verbal oath in person, pay their local county fee, and the clerk will physically stamp your paperwork. Then, and please don't forget this part, you must mail one of those file-marked oaths back to the Secretary of State.
I literally cannot stress this enough. Traditional paper and ink commissions are not legally active until the state physically receives that final piece of paper from your county trip. Please do not start notarizing documents just because you walked out of the courthouse. You have to wait until the state receives it, places you in good standing, and actually issues your official certificate of commission.
Finally, Section 6, Supplies and Best Practices. Time to gear up. So, once you're officially in good standing and you have your commission number, you can finally go shopping for your gear and set up your practice. You'll need to buy a rubber stamp or a metal embosser, but it has to meet strict state requirements. It must use blue or black ink, and it has to feature your exact name, your county, your commission number, and your expiration date. Also, huge warning here, do not include the Arkansas state seal on your stamp. That is strictly prohibited, no exceptions. And finally, as a professional best practice, strongly consider buying a physical journal to keep a secure, chronological record of every single notarization you perform. It's honestly the absolute best way to track your work and protect your professional credibility. Now, just a quick professional disclaimer before we wrap up. Please remember that state laws, fees, and portal layouts can and do update over time. While we always strive for perfect accuracy in this explainer, make sure you double-check the Arkansas Secretary of State's current guidelines or consult a legal professional before you finalize your application.
Well, you now have the complete step-by-step roadmap to navigate this whole process from start to finish. But honestly, the real journey begins the second you apply that very first stamp. By becoming a notary, you aren't just pushing paper around. You are becoming a localized pillar of legal integrity. So the only question left is, are you ready to become a vital line of defense against fraud in your own community?